The following is a repeat of a program previously recorded on Your Praise 96.3. Any opinions or viewpoints contained in the following program are expressly those of the program presenter and do not necessarily reflect the philosophy, opinions, or viewpoints of Praise Radio or M&M Broadcasting. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul. Join Laura as she brings interesting guests, inspirational discussion, and a Christ-centered perspective on life. Enjoy the next hour with your host, Laura Paul.
And welcome to our first show of 2025. I'm your host, Laura Paul, and with me to share their stories of music, Jesus, and behind the scenes at Dollywood are members of the Kingdom Heirs. Hear how God's grace makes a difference in their lives, and believe me, God can make a difference in your life too. So get ready, and we're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about Jesus, the King of Kings is He, the Lord of Lords supreme, throughout eternity. The great I am, the way, the truth, the life, the door. Let's talk about Jesus more and more.
I want to offer my special thanks tonight to the super supporters of this show, Praise 96.3, David's Abbey Carpet and Floors with stores in Pigeon Forge, Farragut, and now in Maryville too. I also want to thank Volunteer Piano and TN Real Estate and Auction with locations in Sevierville and also in Maryville. And so, are you ready, guys?
We're ready.
I have with me tonight Brad Smith. Give him that bass.
I'm Brad Smith. I guess that.
From where?
Tellico Plains, Tennessee.
Andy Stringfield, and he is a pianist and baritone. Give me that beautiful baritone.
Hello there, Laura.
Woo! And young, well, he isn't that young.
No.
John Young, and you're from?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
And you got your professional start in 2016 in Dollywood.
That's right.
And that's where you can hear the Kingdom Heirs. But you just had your last 2024 performance, and that was last Sunday.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was Sunday. Today's Monday. And here I put you to work. No, not really. Let's Talk About It with me, Laura Paul, is all about having a conversation. So pretend you're on the back porch. We've all got a glass of iced tea. And let's get right to it. So, Brad?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get into music? To begin with, at what age?
That's all I've ever known or remember music. The first song I ever sung was "Oh Happy Day," and I would sing more than I would talk.
Do you remember?
I remember liking the song "Oh Happy Day," and I still do.
Do you remember how old you were?
Well, let's see. I was probably 4.
And you could sing the words at 4, quite an early age for your talent.
I didn't say it sounded good.
Do you remember a little bit? I put people to the test on a cappella.
Oh, happy day. And that 4-year-old sounds just like that.
That's excellent.
Yeah, he's getting crazy looks for that.
I was looking at the two of you like, are you not going to chime in and give him a little harmony on that?
I didn't know he was going to sing.
Here, I'll give you my mic. Go ahead.
We're going to find the key here. You really are putting us on the spot, aren't you?
Okay. I tell you what, you take the lead, I'll sing baritone, John will sing tenor.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, happy day.
When Jesus was.
When Jesus was.
When Jesus was.
Okay,
that's enough of that.
That was more than that was. That was excellent. I am really, really impressed. Now I can promise you, there's not an interview on Facebook or Google anywhere that has you doing that. You agree to that.
Good reason for it.
That's a good reason for it.
So I'm going to go on to asking you when you got your start. When did you first start singing? Do you remember?
Yeah,
This is Andy Stringfield, if you're listening and not on Facebook Live. We are on Facebook Live, by the way, on Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul. And you can find us on Facebook. Just put in Laura Paul, Paul. That's not a Hall, Hall. That's a P, as in Peter, the Apostle. Go ahead.
There you go. Probably when I was 3 or 4 years old, I was turned on to music. I was a big Elvis fan. My mom was a big Elvis fan, and she'd play his videos and concerts, and I would stand in front of the TV and try to be like Elvis and mimic him. And of course, my church was a very musical church, and my grandma played the piano, and we had a quartet in church, and I fell in love with it from a very young age, and started playing piano by ear at the age of 5.
Well, you actually started with a group when you were, 10?
No, I was 14, I believe, when I was with my first group.
And that was?
Manna,
And
out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Manna.
Shout out.
Shout out to Manna.
And you are a drummer in the Pride of Southland?
I was. My freshman year in college, I played in the Pride of the Southland band on the drum line, and that was quite an experience.
Now, was that under Julian?
No.
No.
Sousa. Julian was already gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you play on the drum line?
I played
that first year?
the tenor drums.
Okay. And my sister played snare throughout her college
Really?
career,
Cool.
and that was under Julian. So
Okay.
just a little
He
history.
tried bringing the piano out there. He tried bringing the piano out on the field, but Andy, what happened?
It kept tearing the turf up, so they wouldn't let me bring the piano out
Wouldn't
there.
let him bring it out there.
So what's your story?
Well, I'm John Young, and I'm happy to be here, folks.
And when did you start singing first? I mean, when do you really remember?
At a young age, so young that I can't remember an exact age, but music has always been a part of my life, and my dad sung, and my brothers still sing to this day, and I picked it up because everybody else was doing it. Everybody in the family sang except Mom.
So, your brothers and your dad, were they part of a group? Did they have a run in Southern gospel music?
No, the crazy thing about it is we all sung, but we never really sung together. Crazy story about that is, well, I know we got time to talk about it, but my middle brother, Daniel, he almost died in 2021 from COVID. And I was just, after the whole debacle, it was just the worst thing you could imagine. Just imagine losing your brother and somebody so important to your family, and to think that we all sing, but we don't have anything that we've ever done together on record or anywhere, really. So after that whole deal happened, I said, man, let's get in the studio and let's make something. So we did, and got my dad on it too, which was a blessing because he was sick as well. He ended up dying the next year after that. So I got a little project out. It's just me and my brothers and my dad singing. It's probably the most important thing I've ever done in my life. I cherish it more than anything, really.
I'm sure you do. And you're about to get me here. I wasn't expecting that to be part of your initial story.
Well,
we would get.
I wasn't either, but-
I'll tell you what. I'm going to let you hand your mic over to him when he's talking, just so that I can talk back and forth when we're having that part of the conversation. So now I'm going to go backwards.
Okay.
If you haven't met Jesus yet, that's quite all right, because there's a lot of people listening that haven't met Jesus, and there's probably people listening high out there, those that put it on the back shelf, you know what I mean? I'll get to Jesus later. I'll deal with God later. I'm mad at God about something. God let me down. Well, the loving God I know never lets you down. He never makes you ill. We have an enemy in the world, and I won't get into spiritual warfare tonight. We want to kick off the year with music and happiness, and but I do want to tell you that there is a living God that can be your best friend, and
That's right.
And these guys are going to tell you about that from their perspective. So when did you meet Jesus? Tell me what went down. How was that?
Well, I was 6, and just knew as a little boy I didn't want to die and go to hell, because I've been in the church my whole life, and that's what they preached to us. And as a little boy, and in my bed at night before we went to bed, saying my prayers, and I told Mom, I said, I think I want to ask Jesus into my heart. And so I did, and went and got saved, baptized and all that. But years later, I rededicated my life just because I didn't think I was truly living the way I needed to be living. And I think I was about 14 or 15 then, so...
Well, we go through our teens and we go through our early 20s, and we were talking before the show. We always pray together, my guests and I, before the show, so that, we're sharing with you what God wants us to share, because the show belongs to Him. And you've already just come right out the gate and sharing exactly what somebody needed to hear coming into the new year about your family and how important it is to do those important things that just take some time of getting together.
Yeah, it just takes a little effort, and it can mean the world to you.
Yeah, and it could be that you are cooking together. You're baking a cake together. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a singer or a musician. Yeah. So let's pass the mic on down, and let's hear your story. Now, see, when we go in order like this, you have a chance to think about the question, as long as I stay on the same question. For right now, I will, but I'm going to flip it up in a minute.
Yeah, really.
Okay, well, you did a good job because you didn't have time to think.
No, he was on the spot.
Yeah, I did. Trying to give you.
He said that as a group, he doesn't often get a chance to talk about himself or talk on the mic about his life and singing about Jesus and what you do and your beautiful Southern gospel songs and lyrics. So we kind of gave him a little extra opportunity tonight, and I think that you're a natural. You're welcome. You're a natural. Go ahead.
Well, I asked Jesus into my life when I was 8 years old in the living room at my grandparents' house, and I had just recently discovered Southern gospel quartet music and was listening to the Kingsman Quartet. Was my favorite, the first record I ever heard, and just listening to that and as many albums as I could, and started listening to Southern gospel radio, and I just and hearing all these songs, and I heard them in church and grew up hearing it and knowing about it. I knew the truth, I knew what it meant, what it was, but I'd never done it, and I thought, you know what, I want to be a part of this happiness that everybody is talking about, and Jesus, and I wanted Him into my life, and I've failed Him many times since, and I'm thankful He's a loving and forgiving God. I really am.
But when you talk about the happiness, for someone that doesn't know Jesus at all, can you tell them what that's about?
It's hard to explain. Just hearing just the lyrics and some of the songs and what we have to look forward to in heaven, and seeing, especially when you start to lose loved ones in your life. Looking forward to seeing them again, and everything a life of walking with God has to offer. It's just something I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to have. And
it's joy unspeakable, even in the toughest times of like COVID, or losing a father, or losing someone in your life, or in your case, Brad. I need to be worried about being on the radio next week.
I hope not.
Let me explain about Brad. He has a tendency. He has a tendency. That's Brad right there.
That's me.
He has a tendency to join groups, and soon.
Well, I have to join them to have a job.
But there's a kind of a consistency that somebody in the group tends to go on to heaven after you've joined, and you end up singing at their funerals. And this has not happened but once, not just twice.
It's a few times.
Not just 3 times.
A few times.
They say something like 3's a charm, or 3 strikes you're out.
I think it's more like 6 or 7.
I think you're really living a charmed life. Brad, when did you first meet Jesus?
Well, my earliest memories come from a family that prayed a lot every night. Even in the mornings we would pray, and my mom would have the Bible open, and every night, every single night before we went to bed, we would read the Bible out loud. She'd read the Bible out loud to us, and we'd all pray. And of course, my prayer was to now lay me down to sleep.
That was mine too.
Yeah, and just never miss church. You just didn't miss church. And I mean, honestly, I was 9 years old, and just probably knew about as much about the Bible as a lot of grown-ups. Thought I had everything going, and something just came over me that shook me to the core at 9 years old, and I just knew if I wanted to see heaven.
You wanted that eternal life.
Exactly.
And what I learned as I go through the seasons of life and grow, you have to grow older there and go through those seasons of life to get to, actually sometimes people know this very young, and it makes me wish that I did, and that is the understanding of the friendship and relationship you can have with Jesus. And it's just talking to him and spending time in the Word and listening. And it's funny how you'll go in the Bible to read one scripture and you're headed in one direction, and then you end up in your Bible way over here. Well, listen, I promised on Facebook Live and all over the place that we would be playing some of your music tonight. And I think that I mentioned something about it being your new releases from your new album. So it released in 1st of November. I mean, I've seen it all over, but Andy, when can we actually have it in our hands?
It's available now. We had it. We actually got it a couple weeks before it was officially released digitally. So we have the hard copies available on CD and flash drive. And you can find those at kingdomheirs.com, but it's also available online anywhere you stream your music.
So you can go anywhere that you stream music and get the album, which is called
No Better Time.
And we are going to play a song from No Better Time after we talk about it a minute. I'm just kind of making sure that my producer, Dan Bell, behind the scenes is on board and ready. He is. So who wrote the song? Tell me about the lyrics. Tell me about the music. What's the background?
I can't remember who wrote the song.
It's No Better Time.
Guys, do you know?
No better time to remember.
No better time than to stomp. Okay, this show's called Stump the Artist.
This isn't live, is it?
On the next interview, when it's really, 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 really important, like national TV or something, you'll know the answer to that.
Oh, Brad's getting it right now.
Dixie Phillips.
Dixie Phillips.
That's who I was going to say. Yeah, I was going to say Dixie Phillips.
We had so many writers on this project. There's some...
And Steve Marshall.
Steve Marshall, Dixie Phillips, and if
we did come around.
Thanks, Dan.
Let me tell you, if you ever have a question about Southern gospel music, Dan Bell has the answer. I promise you, he really does. He is like a historian and Southern gospel Webster's all in one. And I don't know what we would do without Dan and his vast knowledge. So how did you end up? You can give the litany if you want to. We'll be here all night, and I only have an hour of all the different artists that you were. We're going to play the song here in just a minute, but I want you to share how you ended up with the Kingdom Heirs.
I was performing in different theaters with Fee Hedrick Entertainment. I was singing with the Blackwood Singers, and they ended up moving to Branson, and I stayed here. Me and my family. And
Well, when you are from Tellico Plains, who wants to go to Branson?
Exactly. Go Bears. So anyway, I needed a job, and people liked my storytelling and everything. So I did some guide work, and then next thing you know, I'm doing stand-up comedy, and the comedy's taken off, and so I performed in theaters for years. And out of the blue, I got a phone call from Jeff Chapman, and wanting to know if I was interested in singing bass. I hadn't sung bass in probably 6-7 years. And
What did you normally sing?
I was a stand-up comedian. I did
Oh,
comedy, an
I
actor,
thought you
an
had
actor.
sung something other than bass prior to.
Oh, I did. I started out a tenor singer.
My goodness.
Yes, I did.
Did you have a voice change?
I did. I turned 30, and when I woke up, it was this
It
is
just
what
was
happened.
down like that. So we'll go over here. See, I told you I'm going to mix it up. And tell me how you ended up with. You were singing at Dollywood anyway?
Well, kind of, but I had made a connection with Andy here back then, and me and my oldest brother and Andy used to actually be in a group together called Cross for Crowns. Shout out Cross for Crowns. And but yeah, no, I was at Dollywood for 3 or 4 years, and then I left there, started working at a theater called Country Tonight. Worked there for about 4 or 5 years, and left there with hopes of doing the big country thing, and I was going to be on a TV show. I wasn't going to say which one it was, but didn't pan out. So I was just singing anywhere and everywhere I could in nursing homes and churches and restaurants and whatnot.
Yard sales.
Yard sales. I wasn't going to say that, Brad, but it said it anyway. But yeah, well, so I'm getting off track here, but the guy, when I worked at Country Tonight, going back to saying when my dad passed, there was a guy who filled in for me on guitar while I took time off to be with the family during all that, which was a godsend because I called everybody, couldn't get him fill in for me. But yeah, this man filled in for me, and when I was, fast forward a couple of years, when I was freelancing, I found out he was working at Dollywood, and a member of his family had passed away, a freak accident.
Oh my goodness!
And the only thing I could think of was, man, I got to repay this guy because he was there for me when nobody else was, and so I reached out to the guys at Dollywood and said, hey, if this guy needs somebody to fill in for him, since everything's happened, I said just let me know. And so they called me up, and so I was more than glad to do it for him. Went over there and filled in with this other group at Dollywood, which happens to be the next dressing room to the Kingdom Heirs. And so, yeah, I was right next to Andy and the boys, and then they were saying that.
Did you knock on the wall?
Well, they got loud enough voices you can hear them. Yeah, you ain't got to knock on anything, but. He said that they might be looking for a guitar player, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting because, to my recollection, I never remembered Kingdom Heirs with a guitar player. But it was very funny that I was kind of looking for a job. I said, hey, if you need anybody, just let me know because I'm singing at the nursing home next week. I could be over here with you. And so, sure enough, it was a week later. I think Andy asked me if I'd like to come over and join up.
Well, it's an amazing thing to see you guys in your suits and on stage, and now you're in your jeans and your T-shirts, and so you're going to see and hear the real guys behind the suits and behind the mic, and we're going to move the mic over to Andy and find out, how did you end up with the Kingdom Heirs?
Well, as John said, I played in a group called Cross for Crowns that his older brother, Andrew, sung with, and we opened for the Kingdom Heirs in Lenoir City, Tennessee, in about early 2006, I think. And
At a church?
At a church, yes.
Okay.
And I was there. And John was there.
There's little connections. God does that. You were there, but you didn't know where you were going to be. But he did. Can everybody see my finger pointing up? But he did. Go ahead.
And several months later, their piano player had decided to move on, and I guess they kind of remembered me being local. I'm from East Tennessee, and I was with the Stamps Quartet at the time, Ed Enoch and the Stamps Quartet out of Nashville, and we were on the road quite a bit. And it was pretty good. I was single at the time, didn't have a kid yet, and I was having a good time and enjoyed it. And I didn't know Kingdom Heirs reached out to me, and it just didn't feel like the right thing at the time because I was having fun and enjoying what I was doing, and months went by and they still hadn't found a piano player. And I thought, why in the world has one of the top groups in gospel music, the best gig in gospel music, they're home all the time, don't have to be on the road but a few months out of the year. Why are they having such a hard time finding a piano player? And I thought, you just answered your own question, dummy. Call them. So I emailed on MySpace. I sent Steve French at the time an email. I said, hey, y'all still looking for a piano player? He just typed out his number. He said, call me. And we set up an audition, and that was it. 17 years later.
So there's a scripture that says something to the effect of you have not because you ask not,
That's
Andy.
True. Well, I finally asked. Yeah. We quote that a lot, don't we?
Well, who would like to introduce the song, and we'll play it, and I'll hold my microphone to the headset because that's the only way the folks on Facebook Live can hear what's going on the radio. You can also go on to praise963.com, praise963.com, and hit listen live, and you can hear the music there, and you can hear everything we're saying, as well as Facebook Live. I think Brad's got the mic.
All right, this is going to be real quick. We have a great tenor singer, Joshua Horrell. He's incredible. He's featured on our brand new radio single that's out now. And hey, Facebook, call your local radio station wherever you are and request No Better Time by the Kingdom Heirs.
Everyone has a story. Everyone has a past. All of us need some freedom from the things that have held us back. So when we need a new beginning, all we have to do is ask. No better time than the present. No better time than the now. No better time than the moment to be touched by his power. And see, once again, he's so faithful. He's always changing lives. No better way, no better day, no better time. Anyone holding heartache, anyone holding pain, there are no hidden secrets that can keep you from his grace. So anytime you need his mercy, do not wait to call his name. No better time than the present. No better time than the now. No better time than the moment to be touched by his power. And see, once again, he's so faithful. He's always changing lives. No better way, no better day, no better time. No better time than the present. No better time than the now. No better time than the moment to be touched by his power. And see, once again, he's so faithful. He's always changing lives. No better way, no better day, no better time. No better time than the present. No better time than the now. No better time than the moment to be touched by his power. And see, once again, he's so faithful. He's always changing lives. No better way, no better day, no better way, no better day, no better way, no better day, no better time.
You're listening to Praise 96.3. Let's talk about it with Laura Paul. That would be me. And my guests, my special guests, 3 of the Kingdom Heirs are here tonight. We did not get, who's not with us? Joshua's not with us. And who else?
Chris Bryant, Dennis Murphy, and Chris French.
And Mr. French has been with the group the longest, or he's
our boss. He's the owner of the Kingdom Heirs. He's been Chris. And
42 years.
42
42
years.
years.
1986, I believe.
And it was, let's see, it's Dennis Murphy that's been with you 27 years, 26.
Longer than that. It's about to be 35 years.
35 years. Somebody needs to upgrade what's out there on Google. I am so glad to have you guys here, especially with it spitting snow around East Tennessee, and
It's snowing.
just what a great way to spend a warm Monday night with the listeners of Praise 96.3, sitting in these particular seats. Now, if you are watching on Facebook and you're not familiar with this little East Tennessee Southern Gospel radio station, just listen to this. For a few years, the group was billed as the new Kingdom Heirs. This is part of the Kingdom Heirs history. And to avoid being confused with another Kingdom Heirs group that was based in Sparta, Tennessee. That's over in West Tennessee, isn't it? Sparta?
Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee, okay. And the group was incorporated as the new Kingdom Heirs in 1974. But the concert promoter, a fella by the name of Reverend J. Basil Mull, and that's who owned this little building and this radio station back then, and then went on to have the television show with Ms. Mull. But at that time, it was the Reverend J. Basil Mull's recommendation that opened the door for their first performance at Silver Dollar City. And we've been talking about Silver Dollar City earlier because that's what became Dollywood as you know it now. And in performance at Silver Dollar City, now Dollywood, that was in 1976. Then in 79, they secured a trademark on the name Kingdom Heirs, and at the prompting of the same owner of this little radio station, and we're sitting in J. Basil and Ms. Mull's chairs as I speak.
Wow.
He prompted again that they drop the word new from the group name. And that's why you are not the new Kingdom Heirs, but the Kingdom Heirs.
Wow.
How about that?
I've never heard
history?
that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So glad to have you with us. We're going to take a little break to hear about the super sponsors that make this show happen, and then we will be right back with more music from the new album and more stories from behind the scenes. And this time, we're going to find out what really goes on at Dollywood.
Uh-oh.
You're listening to Praise 96.3, and let's talk about it. I have the Kingdom Heirs. 3 of the Kingdom Heirs are here with me tonight, all singers, and they play instruments, and we're going to hear more from them. But first, I want to also tell you about David's Abbey Carpet and Floor. Have you noticed the bright July sun beaming through your windows, placing a spotlight on your yellowed floors, browns and grays on what started out as white or cream carpet? If you answer yes, then this is the time you need to head over to David's Abbey Carpet and Floors. You've got an option in Maryville, Knoxville, or Pigeon Forge. Hi, this is Laura Paul. The sun is bright on my floors too, but I bought quality flooring and I bought tile as well within my budget, and it looks like the day I bought it. Now, I'm not bragging. I just went to the right place, David's Abbey Carpet and Floors, where the team at David's guided me in not only making my selections, but also how to care for what I purchased properly so it would last a long time looking brand new. 3 generations of family and business, nearly 53 years. I think they know what they're doing, so why don't you go see them? David's Abbey Carpet and Floors, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Knoxville too. And I have with me tonight, from my far left is Brad. He sings bass, and Andy sings baritone. Wave at the camera, and we are on Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul Facebook Live, and Brad Smith from Tellico Plains, and Brad is over there. I'm sorry, and Andy. No, I'm sorry. No. He said I forget him, and I let him talk too much. No, I'm not. John Young.
Yeah.
John Young.
Mighty John.
The one that's from Knoxville.
That's right.
Yeah, I've lived in Knoxville mostly since I left Kingsport. I'm a Kingsport girl, and I went to school at UT. And
I grew up about 10
stayed.
minutes down the road.
Where?
Behind Duffield.
You did?
Yeah,
And you're from South Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
A South Knoxville boy.
that's right.
we could really talk some Tennessee, couldn't we?
Let's go.
Go off.
Well, see, next year we're looking forward. Oh, you don't want to do it right now?
Well, it's a right nice night out tonight with a little bit of that spit and snow. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, Ball's gonna win tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, now that we've done that, we've been talking about Jesus in their lives, and I want to go back to just a quick question on that. Of everything that has happened in your life, let me look right at you and go to Andy. And
Scared me.
that was fun.
I'm awake.
That was fun. Andy, what would you say is the one thing that you think about God in your life, and it's like you knew that you knew that you knew because nothing else could have helped or made something happen. It had to have been God.
Well, I really got to go back to a couple years ago with the Kingdom Heirs. We had 3 or 4 members, longtime members, leave the group in just a year span or less, and we really didn't know what we were going to do. We had a lead singer that had been there for 20-something years, and a bass singer that had been here for 20 years, Jeff Chapman, and they were mainstays there. They were very popular and important faces there at Dollywood for the Kingdom Heirs, and Dennis and Chris and I, we didn't know, but they had been through it before. They've had members, they've had big changes, and God sent these guys to us and in my life and in our lives, and just the way that, like the story John told, just the way it all happened and the way it all unfolded, he really took care of us and kind of gave us a spark, and we've got new followers and fans, and we've got old ones that have come back to see us, and kind of new energy with the group. So that's definitely the Lord definitely took care of us in that aspect.
Well, I can echo that from just having been in the audience last week and seeing how enthusiastic the audience participated with you in your show. And you weren't just singing songs, since it was after Christmas, you still included some of the greats, but you sang a lot of your old Southern gospel songs as well as some new ones. And I mean, people were on their feet and clapping, and the energy you guys have on stage. And this was toward the very end of a season where you're doing, how many days a week are you doing? Were you doing
5 days a week,
4
shows
shows
a day, and it added up to 820 concerts we performed last season.
Now think about that, guys. 820 concerts, and you're showing as much energy for your audience, everyone in the audience. I mean, that to me had to be Jesus right there.
Oh, absolutely. The day you saw it, we were tired. I promise you, we've all been sick. We've all passed this cold around for the last 3 or 4 months. You've dealt with it. You told us earlier, and yeah, it had to be the Lord.
I am going to ask one question since he's not here. We're going to really. I'm going to come out. I guess I'm going to say this on the radio. Does your tenor? Has anyone ever told him he sings like a girl?
Every day.
On stage, Andy.
On stage, I say it's hard to find a tenor, especially somebody that looks like a man and sings like a woman.
I have never heard such a pure, high tenor as I heard him sing.
Oh, he's incredible.
And the entire group is incredible because you do your songs in such a beautiful way to where you, in one song, feature all the voices. You also have a point in time in the show where you feature all the musicians individually, and then you have those times when you're all together in harmony, and I particularly love it when you sing in a cappella and that old time harmony, because the history of Southern gospel was nothing but 4 guys and a piano. That's how it started.
That's how it started.
And I've got 3 guys and no piano, but I'm going to do it again. Is there a little bit of a song that you 3 can agree upon and give us just a little a cappella?
I think we all agree on Dan playing another one.
All right, then we will allow Dan to do that toward the end of the show, and we'll go back to talking about Jesus, because we are going to play a wonderful, wonderful song at the end of the show. It's one that they sang in the show at Dollywood, and it's one that, it just so touched my heart. I can't wait for you to talk about it. But we were talking about the moment. See, I gave you plenty of time to think. The moment that you knew that you knew that you knew that it could have only been God.
I've had so many moments in my life like that, but since it's gospel station, I want to tell this story. This had to be a wink from heaven, definitely a God moment. I was my first job singing bass was with a group called the New Spears. Brock Spear had passed away. That's of the Spear family. Brian Spear was the owner, so we'd been singing for a few months, and just out of nowhere, Mark Spear. I get them all mixed up. Anyway, so he told us all one day going down the road that he had this desire, this dream. He just could not get this dream out of his head about singing at a shelter for the homeless.
Okay.
He said, now I'm talking about we're going to dress up, we're going to give our product away, and I'll pay you out of my own pocket if you all would do that. And I said, man, a heart like that, you don't owe me anything. I'd be glad to jump in there and do something like that with you. So a few months went by, and we were going through Columbus, Ohio, and on the way he got a text where I don't know what had happened, but the church canceled us. And so we had a free day in Columbus. So we stopped and get a hotel room and went to Columbus. And he said, well, I guess I can find a mall, park the bus at a mall, and we'll go watch movies, hang out, everybody do whatever they want to, and be back at whenever. And then I said, or we could find us a homeless shelter. And his eyes lit up. He said, would y'all still do that? And they said, yeah. So he pulled out the phone book, back then the phone book, and we were blown away. They were 12 pages of shelters in Columbus,
Oh,
Ohio.
my goodness.
And he just takes his finger at the top of the page and slowly scrolls down this page. He says, all right, you just say when. I went when, and where he stopped, he called that number. This lady answered. Is a preacher's wife. And she said, he told her, he said, we're the Spears. We're coming through. We'd like to come sing for you. She goes, oh, I know who the Spears are. There's no way we could afford you all. And he said, you don't understand. He said,
We're here.
we're here. We've had a cancellation. She said, we're a homeless shelter. He said, I know we want to sing for you. We couldn't even pass the plate. I don't want you to pass the plate. We're going to give our stuff away. And she said, how did you get my number? He said, well, funny thing, we've been talking about this for months and coming through. And I scrolled finger down. My bass singer said, when? I just called you up. She said, she started laughing. She said, no, really, who gave you my number? And he said, no, ma'am, that's what happened. She goes, you don't know who I am? He says, no. She said, I used to be a nurse at Baptist Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee. I was the last person to wash your grandfather's hair, Dad Spears' hair. I held his hand, and I was there when he crossed over with the family, and there was weeping all over the floor. He led 2 of my nurses to the Lord before he passed, and 1 accepted Christ at his funeral. And that was...
If that doesn't
Dad's
give
there.
you chills, I don't know what will. Go stand outside. I mean, the heat is on in here, and I have chills.
Oh, I get chills every time I think about it.
What an amazing, amazing story.
It's beautiful.
Now, that is God. You called it a God,
A wink from heaven,
a
a
wink
God
from
moment,
heaven. You know
a
what?
smile.
I always call it a God kiss.
Oh,
I
it's
call
great.
it a God kiss. What an awesome, awesome story.
It's a great thing to see.
That's a I know that I know that I know
Oh,
moment.
absolutely.
All right. You've had plenty of time
I
to
can't
think.
top that, Laura.
I didn't ask you
I
to.
can't top
You
it.
don't have to top it. You just tell your own story.
Well, I'd say just the one I'd mentioned earlier about being with the Kingdom Heirs. I never would have crossed paths with Andy if, I wasn't trying to fill in for somebody who was helping me out prior. So I'm just blessed to be a part of this group. Everything that while I'm sitting here today, I mean, there's a reason for it. every time I do something that I think is wrong or whatever, God seems to have His hand on me, and when I think I'm making wrong decisions, it turns out that's not a wrong decision at all. It's just what God's wanting me to do at the moment.
You know, we all are like Peter, and we start to walk on the water, and we're looking straight at Jesus, and then the enemy gets our attention with the waves of life. That's wave, not ways. Well, it could be ways and waves of life. And we start looking to the side, to the left and the right, and we start sinking. And if we could just keep our eyes straight on Jesus. But you know what? It's us that move backward and forward and left and right. He never goes anywhere. He's consistent. He's intentional. He is always there for us, and He is always there for you. That's the Jesus that we all love and serve. And I hope that those of you listening have, in hearing these stories from behind the mic, picked up on something about these gentlemen. And that is basically what we call the Beatitudes. We've got someone that is just ready to jump on board to do something that is no greed to it, no monetary benefits from it. The guy said, would you play for someone that is in need and a group of people that are in need? And you said, yeah, let's go do it. And you even found the opportunity, Brad, when you were there. And you told the story of giving back. Paying it forward or paying it backward. Where you went and sought out the guy at Dollywood. If you didn't hear the story earlier, sought out the guy at Dollywood to help out because he had helped you in your time of need, and you want to be there for him in his time of need. And oh my gosh, you've shared so much with us tonight. You really have. All three of you have shared such wonderful stories about Jesus in your lives. And so before we play What's Next? Do you have any idea where God's going to take you next?
What song are we going to play next? Or?
No. We all put the microphone right. That could have been a little scary. That's like something in the movies. Which, by the way, I did read your bios, and you all have crazy ideas about the movies. There's a consistent thing about a particular Christmas movie when asked the favorite movie. Do you know which movie that might have been?
Probably Christmas Vacation.
Yes, it was Christmas Vacation. Although, in talking about favorites, there was somebody that said Scooby-Doo was their favorite show. I think that might have been you.
It's a classic.
It's a classic, Scooby-Doo. And that was very good, Brad. And there's also someone that just really loves Elvis. That's
me.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he got a sash put on him the other day.
Got a what?
He got a sash put on him the other day. He was singing an Elvis song.
Scarf, an Elvis scarf.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was a scarf. They put a blue scarf on him. He went up there acting like his idol.
Let me
No idols. No idols, John.
Yeah, I mean.
let me explain something to you. A sash is something you put on a beauty queen.
Yeah. Well,
see, that's what you wear.
See why he's explaining it was a scarf.
Yeah. Well,
somebody put a scarf on you.
yes.
Like Elvis had.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do the dances and things like Elvis did? I mean, could you fill in at Elvis show and
I believe I could, yeah.
and be okay?
I have a jumpsuit, Elvis jumpsuit. I don't think I could fit into it anymore, but
Give me one. No, give me just a little Elvis. Everybody likes to hear just a little Elvis to remember back to the day.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. How's that?
That was beautiful.
We've been singing Christmas songs from Halloween until yesterday at Dollywood. So I still have my Christmas tree up.
Now, what do you do in March at Dollywood
Oh,
when they open again?
come back.
Well, I know,
Hopefully.
but what do you sing about? You're not singing Christmas songs in March, so what do you?
We just go back to our standard gospel program. Yeah.
So let's talk about that standard gospel program. And so next, what God has for you, Brad, was
Well,
besides the season with Kingdom Heirs, what's next in your life?
it's the next. It's Kingdom Heirs. I mean, God, family, Kingdom Heirs, and
I happen to
we're-
know you have a new basset hound.
I do, Zoe. I got 3 basset
You got 3
hounds.
basset
Thor,
hounds.
who's named after, his real name's Thorazine, but we call him Thor. If you know basset hounds, that makes sense.
Thorazine?
Yeah,
That sounds like some sort of medicine.
it is. It's a tranquilizer.
Sounds to me like you've got some walking in your life. But besides singing, you're going to be walking the dogs.
Well, that's just it. Basset hounds don't walk too long. That's why I got him, because I don't like to walk.
Okay, so now he's off the hook. Go ahead, tell me what do you think Jesus got next for you besides singing with Kingdom Heirs
Besides
in
singing
your
with Kingdom
life,
Heirs.
in your life, outside of song.
Well, I'll tell you that, and I'm going to get serious for a minute. But
You? Go ahead.
I'm going to try. Yeah, I have a
This is Elvis being. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I have a 5-year-old son who is nonverbal autistic, and I'm looking forward to the first time he can talk to me. I'm praying for that. I'm believing that. I'm
And
speaking
you know,
that.
if you're watching, I hope that you will join in and pray for Andy Stringfield's family and the
Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah.
Just lift Marshall up in prayer, and the first time that he can say "Daddy,"
But that's what's next for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
and Amen. We're
I
going to
believe
just say a "So be it" on that. Amen to that.
It'll happen, Andy.
I don't-
Will.
And what's next?
Next thing for me is, well, I don't know. Hopefully something good.
We're going to be part of that 40-year anniversary.
That's
I mean,
right.
Celebrating 40 years at Dollywood.
Just
Yeah.
next thing for me is just loving on my wife and loving just being part of the Kingdom Heirs and being a part of the Lord's family with these guys and just being blessed more than I deserve. So
John's being humble. He is so talented. He can play anything with strings on it. In just in less than a year, we watched him teach. He taught himself how to play the steel guitar,
Yeah.
dobro, and he can pick. And he's an incredible musician and a great singer. And we make sure he gets featured because he needs to be heard. He's incredible.
You are, and you are a fabulous musician, and you, sir, oh my goodness, wear out those keys. Such an amazing pianist. And what do you do out there, really?
I just sing the root note.
Well, before we go into this last song, I always tell everyone first of all, I have a piece of business. I need to tell everyone that next week we have a special guest that was with another singing group. She's going to be telling about her life with Jesus, but also she is well studied in the book of Revelation, and we're going to talk about where we are in Revelation. Are we still in the birthing pains of the end times? Are we in the end times? Where are we in this love letter that was left for us called the Book of Revelation? And that's next week on Let's Talk About It. I always tell you to talk to your friend Jesus, and then tomorrow you can make a difference in this world. Go out and talk about Jesus, because we want everybody to have eternal life and be up there in heaven. All right, did you decide on something you can sing just a few words of a cappella, and then I'm going to let you introduce the last song as how we end the show?
What do you think, John? What do you want to sing, buddy?
I'll sing whatever you want
get
me to
the
sing.
tenor part. What's?
You want me to tenor?
No, I assume John would
John.
sing tenor. Yeah.
Okay,
You want to
I'll-
show off, Brad?
I'm going to jump up baritone.
All right. You just take off. We'll
I
get you.
can't think of why can't we sing.
We sing 820 concerts. We know 10,000 songs, and we're sitting here.
Sing a hymn or something.
All right. Let's do a chorus of Beulah Land.
Okay.
Beulah Land, I'm longing for you.
someday on thee I'll stand. There my home shall be eternal. Beulah land, sweet Beulah land.
And that's what you get on Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul on Praise 96.3. Here is the final song of the evening. The name of it is
Until Prayer Changes Me.
Good night.
I pray until prayer changes me, changes me. I pray until heaven comes down. I stay on my knees till I found peace and assurance and grace flowing free, loving grace, flowing free. And I pray until prayer changes me, changes me.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk About It with Laura Paul. Join us next Monday evening at 7 o'clock for another chance to call in and talk about it with Laura Paul, right here on Your Praise 96.3.